Okay, I'll just wait a minute here. I don't know what happened there. Hi, Stuart. Going good, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why that froze up. That was weird. Of course, I went outside and had this nice long spiel about icing the fish and why we do it that way. And apparently, I was just still sitting up here in the captain's seat the whole time. So, like somebody said, that's the content creator part you don't see a lot of times, is all the technical difficulties and fiddling with the gear and all that stuff. I don't know if it does or not, Straw Carpenter. Maybe I'll have to look into that. But maybe that's why it froze. That was like 8 hours right there, I think. So I shall take a look at that and see. Hi, Robert. The school of fish below the boat. Could be. There's a lot of herring up here in these bays. No limit on streaming. Trip's going good. We just hauled our third set, and it was good. It was very good. Just waiting for a few people to show up again here, and I'll give you the details. So I was just about to let everybody know what we had on that last set, and then the stream cut off, just started buffering or something. So. Yeah, so let's see, we had like 50 some people. Everybody will make it back here before too long. Hopefully they saw the chat that I said I was restarting the stream. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, why it just froze up. I was actually outside talking away, and then I come back in here and everybody's like, it's froze, and I'm just sitting there in the chair. I don't know. I've heard people claim they can see halibut on their fish finder. I can't see them. I think they're supposed to have like at least a big enough biomass or a air bladder to be able to tell, especially when they're on bottom. Like herring and stuff are different because it's a big biomass in the water. It's not really hard on bottom, but halibut are on bottom. So yeah, I don't know how many pounds. So. Yeah, that stream ran pretty long. I know it was like 8 hours anyways, so maybe that's why it stopped. Hi, Stuart. Good to see ya. It's been a little while. Thanks for joining us. So let's go see. I told the boys already. I told you guys too, but you weren't with me, I guess. Oh, yeah. Now they're all done out here. So yeah, I was telling you all about why we ice them the way we do, and which is chopping some bait. Uh-huh. And yeah, it froze up. So so 22 fish, 480 pounds. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So that's what we needed. That's a good way to start our day.
Good
So pretty close. Aren't you guys coming in?
Yeah, just cutting a few of these for our next 2 sets.
Okay. Yeah, so that was really nice. What a blessing. So let's see, we're at 815 pounds for the day off 3 sets. So that's a very good start to this trip. I think we need like 2,500 pounds minimum. And then the rest of it can roll over. And then Anita still has 800 pounds of hers. So we're hoping to get this knocked out and get home so we can take her fishing. Yeah, 480, so that was very, very nice. Let's see, what did we get off of that? 480, 22 fish, 21.8 pound average. That's a nice average. I think I said that was 30 pound average. I guess I was off a little bit. Nothing real huge. 51 inch was the biggest fish, which according to this is 64 pounds round weight, 48 pounds head and gut. So head off, gutted. So just nice fish, nice and easy to work with, move around. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I hope they keep coming too. So we've got 2 sets in the water now, and we're gonna go pull them this evening sometime. Take a little break here, get a little rest, maybe take a nap, have some dinner. I actually got a lot of sleep last night, so that was good. And then we'll set everything back out tonight and pull it in the morning and see where we're at. I don't know if we can fit much more gear into this bay. Like, well, I know we can, but I don't know if it'll be productive. So I think if we put 3 sets out across the bay, kind of like this one, and hopefully they're even just 150 pound average is, that's all I'm looking for right now. I'd be tickled with that, but if we get that off of those 3 tomorrow, then we're going to be nearly halfway there, and that makes me pretty happy. And then maybe we'll pop around the corner, because start to kind of run out of room in the bay. Maybe there's room for a couple more sets, one more day, but it might be worth it just to hop around the bay, or maybe probably go down to Secluded Strait and work that for a day. There's we've got about 10 or 12 different sets we've made in there that have all been pretty consistently good. And if that's no good, then we'll go back towards town, up to UGAC and work that. That's where we're gonna start, but this breezy day today, it wouldn't have been very conducive to fishing in there. It would have been a little more uncomfortable than here. So that's kind of why we dropped down here first, and it seems like it worked out. We did have a 1,000 pound set in UGAC last year though, so kind of wanted to go back. It's kind of the same thing going on over there as it is here, just fishing along these edges. And yeah, I don't know. It's clean out here though, other than cod. Just a couple of skates. I think only one spiny dogfish so far, 1 or 2. Come in, guys. You're fired.
Right?
Yeah, where's the guy? Yeah, so thanks for joining us, everybody, today. We appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that we had a good set right there to bring you along with us and get some nice halibut. It'll be nice when we get our cameras set up better. But for now, it's just kind of the one spot, the one angle, I guess, that we have. So yeah. Yeah, I do set along the fathom curves, or in the same depth. Yeah, so it seems like we're seeing the majority of these fish in like 40 to 50 seems to be pretty good. Well, the bay doesn't get much deeper than that, so that last one was 48 on the ends and 52 in the middle, and that was good. I thought earlier it was a little bit shallower, like 43 to 45, but maybe it was just the location. It's not very far away from the other one, so I'm hoping that it looks like there's room for at least 3 sets in the deep up here without crowding them too much. That gives it, you know, at least a third of a mile in between them. Although there is one spot that's sandy, and I don't really want to set here on that overnight, so maybe I'll save that for tomorrow. I wish I would have put that there today. But I think I can squeeze in 2 up here anyways, in kind of the similar depths, and hopefully those are good also. Maybe we'll put one out from this. Tomorrow the weather's going to be really good, so I don't have to really worry about where we put our gear. But those depths seem to be working good, so we'll stick with that for now. I was going to put a couple up shallow too, but yeah. Maybe tomorrow we'll put one up shallow, just to see. Hi Les, welcome aboard. We get a couple more sets like that, I'm going to be tickled. We have at least 3 days of good weather down here. It'd be really nice to get this done and get out of here on good weather. That would be a very nice thing. I'm curious to see how these 2 sets on the other side of the bay will do this evening. Hopefully they're just 100, 150, 120. That would be okay. That'll give us 1,000 for the day. A little over 1,000. And that would be alright. That would be just fine and dandy. 480. Good job today, Steve. Thanks, buddy. I don't know when Matt's gonna be a captain. I guess when I quit fishing, probably. We like fishing together. I mean, he runs the boat, he drives all the time and stuff. Well, we've talked about it some. It's hard to think about not fishing together. We enjoy each other's company and we all work together so well, and I don't know. Other fisheries we do in the winter, cod and rockfish. So January 1st, those will both open again, and we'll be tearing it up on the Emerald Isle. Hopefully, tearing it up. At least we'll be out and about looking and fishing. Crab in January 15th, Tanner crab, but we won't have a season this coming year because the biomass is too small to support the fishery. They've got some criteria that they have to use, and it's coming up short. So no fishery in Kodiak, Chignik, or Sandpoint, all three, or no, South Alaska Peninsula. Those three areas that our local office manages, there's not going to be a fishery. There has been a test fishery over in Prince William Sound. They had a commercial fishery for maybe 1 or 2 years, and then now it's just been a test fishery that you can bid on an area to fish. So they can, it's basically so they can collect data. Maybe we'll think about doing that, but that's kind of a long ways to run over, and it's a little bit of one of those, if you don't get any crab, you don't make any money type thing. You don't have any competition, but you have to fish certain areas in so much gear, and yeah, if it doesn't work out, if there's nothing there, then you don't make any money. So I don't know, it's kind of iffy, I think. Probably leave that for somebody else. Hey, we had a great day too, Albert. Appreciate you joining us. It's been fun. Yeah, it's pretty easy work. I guess when you do it for a long time and you just kind of know the motion and stuff. It's not that much fish that it really tires you out. That last set was fun. I'm glad there was some fish on it, but because of the weather, it probably looked a lot nicer than it was. It wasn't that enjoyable, so if that would have been like a really poor set, I'd probably be devastated right now. But as it is, it was a lot of fun, even though it was quite wet and getting blasted in the face with wind. It was fun. Had a good time. I'll have to go wash my face. I'm pretty salty right now. So just happy to be getting some fish on board. I'm already feeling a lot of pressure off of us. It's pretty important. Pretty important to get this fish, and I didn't think it was going to happen. And then we did think it was going to happen, then we didn't think it was going to happen, and now it's happening, so we're pretty happy about that. So I took you guys outside to show Matt icing the fish down and tell you all about it, and that's when this live stream froze. And so, in typical fashion, what content creators find themselves doing a lot of time is just talking to blank air. Like the camera's not on and you don't realize it, or in this case the live stream freezes and you don't realize it. So you're just yakking away, and then after the fact you find out about it and it's like, huh, okay. That's always fun. So I'm not sure if we'll turn the camera on this evening. I gotta make sure my phone is gonna charge up again. I got it maybe wet a little bit. Hopefully it's fine. But it's gonna be dark again and probably raining, but we'll see. At any rate, I think Matt's gonna video it with the Osmo, and it'll be a video at some point. So got that to look forward to, I guess. I'm just glad that last set was fun. Some fish on it. I think I was worried about people getting bored. Kind of boring when we don't do much, but all kinds of fun stuff came up. Some sculpin, spiny dogfish, canner crab, some skates, some nice halibut, pollock, and a bunch of cod. Some big old cod down there. Oh, it feels good, Stuart. Boy, we missed our little boat, and it's just I don't know, it's just like putting on your old favorite sweater or something. You're at home instantly. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty apprehensive when we left town. I was a little bit nervous. It's been a while since we've been on the boat. I was worried about stuff. Everything seems to be running fine. My batteries might be down a little bit, but we can deal with that. We've got 4 8Ds, so it's not like we're in danger of being stranded or anything. But they might need to be replaced here. So we'll just keep the charger on them and run the genset if we need to, and it's no big deal. But yeah, so everything is working good other than that, and I'm feeling a lot better. Actually, after I got about an hour and a half out of town, I was feeling better. That's usually how it is. But yeah, I was a little nervous and apprehensive at first. But super happy to be out here, and the weather's good, and we're having fun. Oh yeah, we got a sablefish too, didn't we? That's right, a little tiny Little tiny black cod. Well, I tell you what, he hit the water and he was gone like a bullet. Oh, that was a sea anemone. It was attached to the rock. So that bottom is like cobble, rocky cobble. Big halibut like that. Sometimes there's some really nice halibut laying and stuff like that. Those sea anemones like that cobbly bottom. I don't know what draws them in there. Probably just feed and stuff. A lot of marine life going on in there. Yes. Yeah, our sweet little fishtail. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with everybody. Appreciate you tuning in, coming along with us. It's weird, usually we're just getting going this time of the day. We usually get up and, you know, it's like try and set at daybreak. Of course, during the summer, the hours are so long, you can get up at 5 a.m. and be setting gear and then be hauling it by, you know, give it a good long soak, especially if we're in the rock piles. Let's start pulling gear at like 2:30 or 3, something like that, and 11 o'clock rolls around and you're just finishing up. So it's weird to be already have 3 sets hauled so far today. It's actually kind of nice if you can get away with overnighters. So we fished this area before and we didn't have much of a problem with sand fleas. There's a couple of cod got hit, but the halibut were all fine. It just depends on where you're at. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that. This time of year, you pretty much need to fish through the night, or you just can't get any production in because we've got like 8 hours a day right now. So by the time you get your gear out and start pulling and get a decent soak on it, it's already dark again. So that was exciting to see some nice fish come up on that last one. I'm hoping that these other 2 sets will be pretty good today. And hopefully we have a good day tomorrow and we're over the hump and coasting towards home before we know it. Yeah, we're gonna have mugs out pretty soon. We're just waiting for a sample. I think they're gonna come in next week. We just wanted to order some and make sure that the image looks pretty good and the placement is all right. Quality is okay. And then we don't have slime eels here. Thank God. They're nasty. Yeah, and then we'll also have some t-shirts and sweatshirts before long too. So here next month. I was hoping to get them out sooner, like before Christmas and stuff, but probably won't happen. But hopefully sometime around like the 10th or something of next month, we'll have those listed. So yeah. Yeah, really the sand fleas are the big problem with halibut. Sometimes spiny dogfish can be a problem, but they don't usually, they'll get cod, they'll like bite cod and chew up the cod. Usually they don't mess with halibut, or if they do, it's maybe a small one, or one that maybe got throat hooked or something and died, just bled out down there, and they'll chew them up. But those little spiny dogfish will just kind of like devour stuff. When there's just like a couple of them around, it's no big deal. But when you're getting them every hook, that means they're just thick down there, and they're just like a pack of wolves or something. They're gobbling up everything that's around. And I think they'll push halibut out of places. I know that because we've seen that. We've been on good fishing for halibut before and come back like a week later to set back on it, or 10 days later. The halibut will be all gone and it'll be full of spiny dogfish. And then the same thing, come back a week or 2 later and those spiny dogfish are gone and the halibut are back in there. So I don't think anybody likes to hang out with them. They're mean. Little razor blade teeth. Yeah, we will. So we went with a company. It's called Fourth Wall, and a lot of just creators use them. And then they have different print facilities, like kind of throughout the world. I know they have them in UK, Australia, Japan, and you know, we kind of did some homework on it, and it looks like their quality and stuff is good. So I'm hoping there isn't any issues with it. So you should be able to order them from the UK too, and they'll be producing somewhere there. I'm not sure exactly where, and shipped. We kind of, you know, it would have been nice just to be able to do this all in-house and everything, but realistically, by the time we get like the merchandise shipped to us, even if it's printed somewhere else, or if we just get the hats and shirts and stuff shipped to us and printed, and then we ship them back out, it really does become cost prohibitive, unfortunately. As much as we'd like to have our hands on it, and then we can, you know, be 100% sure that the quality is there. I guess we just have to trust in these guys that it's good, and of course everybody's feedback is important. So if there's issues, you let us know, and then we can, you know, deal with it one way or another, either by contacting that company and having them fix things, or go with somebody else. But yeah, it starts to get too expensive otherwise, and then it's hard to justify the value at that point. So yeah, maybe like around the 10th. I think our samples are supposed to be here. I've been watching the tracking. It's saying like the 7th or 8th of December. And so once we get them here and we take a look at them, then we can just turn it on. The website's all set up and everything. So, thanks. Probably gonna haul a couple this evening, Stuart. See, I think we got those in around, they went in pretty early. It's kind of curious how just a regular day soak would do anyways, so. And we wanted to get some extra production in. So those ones went in, second one went in 11:45. First one went in at 10. So let's see, if we, maybe around 7 or 8, man, that starts to make a late night for us too. And I'll have to check with the boys. Maybe we'll pull one and set 2 back or something. I know that I've overnighted these ones before with no problems also. So maybe we'll just pull one and then set 2 back. We've got one on the boat right now, so we have to get it in the water regardless. But those 2 will take about maybe 2.5 or 3 hours to haul, and then another hour to set back. So if we start around 8, then it's midnight, and we'll want to get up early and pull again. I like my sleep. It's been a lot of long days lately, so it's nice to get like at least 5 hours of sleep. Yeah, I'll have to play that one by ear. Maybe we'll start earlier. Maybe around 7. Hi, buddy. What you got there?
This is Windex.
So let's see, if that set went in at 10, the 8-hour soak, if we started pulling it at 6, that's not too bad. Which means it gets all the ebb tide and then most of the flood. I think we're gonna pull later this evening, Barbara. Not sure what time. Maybe 6 or 7. I'll see what the guys think. We had planned on pulling these 2 that we set back this morning and then put them back in the water. Yeah. reel's empty, the first one probably takes like an hour and a half to pull in. And then as we get towards the middle and end, when the reel's full, well, say like a 10 tub one will take about an hour. And if the reel's empty, it probably takes an hour and a half for a 10 tub one. So yeah, it's about six minutes a tub, I guess. I feel a little bushed all of a sudden. I'm beat. Yeah. I'll take a little nap and be ready to go again. We got up early, like at 4. That wind was blasting us in the face out there. I was saying it made that set was fun though. If it would have been for fishing, it wouldn't have been so much fun. But if you're catching fish, it's kind of like, yeah, you don't notice it as much. Oh, you guys have a big storm down there? Yeah, so a decent day so far today, 800 pounds. I never feel bad about that any time of the year. So that's not quite a pound of the hook, but it's 3/4 pound of the hook. The fishing's been so weird. There's boats that are bigger than us and have been fishing for a long time that have just really, really struggled to catch fish this year. And so, you know, if we catch 1,000 pounds a day, I'm always happy with that. Of course, I want to always catch like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds a day. That's even better. But you know, you just kind of take what you get sometimes, and nothing wrong with that for our operation. Yeah, so another one of our viewers, Lori, she said they had forecasts for 17 inches or 17 or 11. I think she said 17 inches of snow. Like, whoa. That's a lot. Yeah. So I think we'll definitely pull one and then set back. I think Matt wants to pull both of them. I kind of do too. Our time frame is short. We've got good weather right now, and it'd be nice to get this fish on and get out of here while the getting's good. I don't know if we'll be able, I don't think we can get too much more fishing out of this bay. I don't know if we'll fish here tomorrow, other than pulling our overnight sets. So we might pull those and then just run somewhere else, run around the corner probably, because it's not very far. It's like an hour and a half to get down there. And so we could easily get down there and lay gear out and just do the same thing, pull it the next morning. And if those sets are decent, then we're in pretty good shape. So kinda, it's always just a bit of a crapshoot. You never know what's gonna happen. Right now we're pretty excited though. Cable guys eating good tonight. Crab and shrimp. Well, we caught a crab today. Little Tanner crab. He was pretty dirty, pretty small. Like Matt said, probably the last one in the bay. Hopefully we see a fishery again in 3 or 4 years. So their latest survey was, it looked, well, it's pretty normal. So they'll do surveys and they measure all the crab, and so you'll have lots of small crab, like a really huge spike, and then as they start to get a little bit bigger, that spike becomes smaller and a little bit bigger and smaller, and hopefully enough get through to where you can get a fishery. But when they're this size like this, if you guys have seen us when we jig cod, this spring we were pulling up cod that had 10 crab that size in them. They're just munching them, vacuuming them up off the bottom. So that's probably kind of the quarter size to maybe $1 size is probably when they're most vulnerable. Once they start to get a little bit bigger like this, then they usually make it into the fishery. And so it already looked like those numbers were starting to push down pretty quickly. And I don't know if they have a lot of optimism that we'll see a fishery again on this next cohort or not, which is generally, it'll be open for 3 or 4 years and then closed for 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. But I think last time it'd been closed close to 8 or 9 years in between. So we'll see about that. But that's a fun fishery. It's breezy here today. It's laying down this evening though. Not real bad though, just like 15 to 18, gusting 20, 25, 24, 25. It got a little bumpy out there. Not terribly bad, but it's supposed to come down this evening. We put our gear on the other side of the bay, so it looks like it's already shifting into the northeast. So that puts us in the lee now, more so than easterly. It was kind of coming out of the east this morning, which was hitting the shoreline where we're at a little bit harder, and then nicer over on this side of the bay, like the east side of the bay. So now it's switched around and should be coming down. It's supposed to come down by like 7, 8. So yeah, it looks like, well, by 10 p.m. it is. 9 knots, gusting 22. By 7 it's already dropped down to 10 or 11. So, and then we have some pretty nice weather. And a southwesterly flow, which just puts the whole bay in the lee. It also makes traveling home nice too, because it's just on your stern. So generally speaking, it's nicest to travel with wind and wave on your stern. That's the best ride. or quartering off your stern. And the trough isn't bad as long as it's not really, really steep waves. We have stabilizer poles, so we can run in the trough pretty comfortably. As long as, yeah, they're not really steep or really big. And then going into it is just always no fun, because your boat's just like bucking into it, pounding into it. It's uncomfortable. So yeah, we'll take southwest to travel home on any day. Yeah, I'm hoping that we could get I was hoping to get 1,000 pounds of fish out of this bay, and then 1,000 out of another bay, and then we just need like 500 out of another bay. So far things are going pretty well. Hopefully these two sets will be pretty good this evening, and we'll break 1,000 and then pick up a little bit more tomorrow. I don't know if it'll hold out or not. I'm getting sleepy because it's warm in here. Yeah, we had to reboot, Rusty. So if you missed the tally, it was 22 fish for 480 pounds on that third set. So we're just a little over 800 pounds for the day on 3 sets. So woohoo! That was a nice set. I was hoping for at least one of those on this trip. And so we'll go pull at least one more set here in a while. 3-4 hours or something. Set the 2 back or 3 back, whatever we end up doing. And then do it again tomorrow. Yeah, I feel like we need a little break too. It seems like fishing's been tough, and we've had a lot of poor sets. We've had good ones, but we've also seems like we struggle a little bit. And it's like, oh, we just need a break. So at least I got one today. That was nice. So that gets us 30% of the way that we need for sure. I think we can take just shy of 2,900 pounds, but 2,500 pounds is what we need to get into the safe zone, and then any difference between that 300-400 pounds can get rolled over to next year and added to our fishable quota next year. So yeah, we're a third of the way there, and still got a couple sets to pull today, so really happy about that. If we can get one more good day in, then that's going to be awesome. And then still have some fish to catch around town with Mom. So we gotta get herds too. So it closes December 7th at midnight, so we don't have that much time left. That's kind of why we've been stressed out about it. Good night, Robert. Thanks for joining us. $15 bean soup, yum. That sounds good. So we don't get penalized, but we lose the fish. So the way it works, for example, if I have 1,000 pounds to catch, my fishable quota, I can catch 1,099 pounds. I can go 10% over and not get in trouble, but they'll remove that 99 pounds from the next year's quota. And so they'll subtract it from the next year's fishable quota. Or if I'm under 10%, they'll add that 10% to my next year's quota, whatever that difference is. So if I'm short 99 pounds, they'll add that 99 pounds to the next year's quota. But anything beyond that, either way, well, if you're over, then at some point you're going to get in trouble and you'll forfeit that overage. But any underage you also lose. So if we only caught 500 pounds this year, we're going to lose 400 pounds of fish, basically, that we're not going to get paid for, and we can't harvest it later. So I guess that's the penalty if you look at it that way. It hurts to leave fish in the water, especially if you're paying for that fish, because you know we're still buying our fish. I think we have a few years left on our loans. And so if you leave that fish in the water, it hurts a little bit to think that that's revenue that I could have had that I just lost out on. So that's what we're shooting for, is that 10% minimum mark, and then we're good. We're happy. So that's why we're gonna go do some more fishing tonight. Set some more gear. We've got at least till probably Monday, I think. So we got Sunday and Monday look nice. I don't even know what's today. Saturday? Saturday. Maybe Tuesday is nice too. We've got a couple of good days of weather here. So we need to take advantage of that. Tuesday's okay down here. Actually, Wednesday and Thursday look pretty nice too. But yeah. So we've got good weather right now. So we just stay on fish for a couple of days. We'll be in great shape. We get back to town, offload this, and then go get my wife's quota, and life is good. We can relax for a few weeks and work on the boats and get ready to go fishing on the first of the year. Go after some rockfish or some cod, or both, likely. Yeah, cod jigging. Full stringers. That's what we want to see. There's some jumbo cod down here. There was some big cod on this last set. So that's good to see. Our quota's up a little bit this year too, so that's nice. I know that it went up some. Oh, hello. Matt's out chopping bait. Said he wanted to get it done, so now I feel guilty. Tristan's making some dinner, so I guess I'm just up here entertaining everybody. I like that idea. I've never been to Hawaii. It sounds fun. Boy, yeah, I'd miss my boys though. You'd have to come with us. We don't really get any benefits for being residents as far as fishing goes. Our licenses are a little bit cheaper, but that's it. So like, depending on what fishery you're in, it's either open access where anybody can just buy a permit and fish, or it's limited entry like salmon where you have to own a limited entry permit to fish, and then you have to get your permit card renewed every year. So for example, let me get one here. So every year you get a permit card, and they change the color every year. And so you have to get one of these for every fishery that you're involved in. So for jigging cod and rockfish, it's a miscellaneous fin fish for jig gear. If you wanted to fish cod with, say, pot gear, you would get a permit card for that. And so those two fisheries, for example, are open access. So that means anybody that can legally fish, commercial fish in the United States can come up. They can buy entry permit card like that, and they can go fishing. Get a boat, find a boat, buy a boat, lease a boat, get some gear, get a crew, buy your card, and go fishing. Other fisheries, like for instance, I think probably every salmon fishery is what's called limited entry. So you have to buy that limited entry permit in order to participate, and then you still have to get your card. So the renewals on these to like jig cod is like $75. If you wanted a pot fish, I think they're $800. The price varies depending on the value of the fishery. Canner crab is a limited entry fishery, so you'd have to buy the permit from somebody, and then you'd still have to get your permit renewed every year. Those permits are running maybe $30,000. The price will drop. Actually, they were a lot more, but the price is going to drop now because there's not going to be a fishery for a few years. So a guy would probably pick them up for 25 grand here in a year or so. Kodiak area seine permit for salmon, those are running about 25,000. The renewal fee for those is $75. Same with canner crab, $75. But you do have to have the permit in addition, and that's a one-time thing. Once you buy the limited entry permit, you don't have to buy it again. You're buying it from somebody else, and the value on those goes up and down depending on the market, strength and value of the fishery, that type of stuff. Same with halibut IFQs. Right now the quota is pretty low. Like D-class quota for our boat is selling for about $20 a pound, maybe 22. C-class quota, like the Emerald Isle size, maybe 25, maybe $28 a pound. Once you buy that one time, you buy it from another individual and it's yours. But that quota does go up and down depending on the health of the fishery. So there's a lot of different caveats in it. And once again, you got to buy your permit card every year. So so anybody can come up and come into an open access fishery. I guess the question was, is there any benefit to being an Alaska resident? I think that non-resident license is double, or it's slightly more. I want to say it's double. So if the miscellaneous fin fish to jig was $75, a non-resident would be maybe $150. There's a fee schedule, so that's really the only benefit. We don't get any, like, they don't limit our fisheries to just Alaskans or anything like that. They can't do that legally. So, yeah. That's how that works, kind of in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, in depth than that, but that's just kind of like the basics how it works. And depending on your vessel size, like if you're over 50 ton, then you need like a license to run it. You need that certification. But like if anybody in the U.S. could come up and buy a boat like the Fishtail or lease a boat like the Fishtail and just jump on it and run it without a license or anything. We don't have licenses. Like myself personally, I don't have a 50 or 100 ton master's license. I've just never gotten it. But if I ran a bigger boat like a crab boat, then I guess I would need one. But for smaller boats like seiners, Emerald Isle, boats that size, you don't need like a license. I know down in like some states like Florida, you need a license just to take a pleasure boat out, recreational fishing, but not up here. So where the someone else got the permit from is way back in the olden days when the fisheries started to get really crowded, particularly like salmon and some of the crab fisheries. I think they started limited entry in the 70s, early 70s. So salmon started to get really crowded, and so they started limiting the amount of permits. And so based on your participation in the fishery during whatever qualifying years, they said, Kodiak area, we're going to make 300 permits for seining, and that's it. And so they went back, and everybody that had fished prior to that qualifying year or in those qualifying years, put in their application, and then they were selected based on criteria like how many years you'd fished in those qualifying years and maybe how much you had caught in those qualifying years. And if you met that criteria, then you were issued a limited entry permit. And then at that point, it becomes, the state always retains the right to revoke those permits and claw them back. But for general purposes, you own that permit at that point. You can sell it. You could buy another one. And that's how it works. And so like with Tanner crab, for instance, we met that criteria to get awarded a permit based on a set of qualifying years. Unfortunately, in our case, our permit is actually non-transferable, so I can't sell my permit. When I die, my permit dies with me because we didn't get enough points to get a transferable permit. And if I'd known more about the process back then, I probably would have, I definitely would have appealed it and tried to get a transferable one. But we were very young and we just didn't know what was going on. And so maybe I blew it on that, but I didn't know any better. And so I could still buy a transferable permit. I just can't sell mine. I think I will maybe petition the board at one point and see if I can't make it transferable, because there was only like 8 permits that were non-transferable out of I believe 180 were awarded. So it's not like a really big amount of permits would enter the fishery, and they do that so they don't devalue the fishery or the price of the permit. But I think a guy could make a pretty sound argument that we've been involved in the fishery since it went limited entry, and at the very least my children are partners with us on our boats, and if something were to happen to me, they should have the opportunity to use that permit to bring revenue into our family. So yeah, so there's stuff like that. Your crab fisheries out west, those are all like an IFQ system, like halibut, so that's more of a federal deal, but same thing, you can buy and sell that quota. Yeah. The troll fisheries down in southeast, the guys that use hook and line and troll for salmon, those are all limited entry. I think all salmon fisheries are limited entry, really. I can't think of any that aren't. And all those permits vary in price. To like a troll permit for southeast, a power troll permit, they're pretty low of the value on those now. I think a guy could get one for maybe like 15 or 18,000. A decade ago they were probably worth 35,000, but just the value of the fishery has dropped. Bristol Bay permit for like the drift gill netters up there, those permits are maybe in $160,000 or $170,000 range right now. At one point they were pushing $200,000. Gosh, even the Kodiak seine permits at one time, they were worth $150,000 prior to the oil spill. Back when sockeye salmon was like $2.50 a pound. And so the value of the fisheries and the value of the permits goes up and down. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'd like to be able to pass it on to our kids, or at least, you know, like I say, if I got hurt or something and I couldn't participate in it, I don't even know if I could do a medical transfer. So for all the permits, you could do medical transfer. So like for salmon, because I own a transferable permit, if I got hurt, I could do a medical and transfer that to somebody and they could fish it. They could pay me, you know, whether it's my kids running the boat and making money with the boats, or even just basically doing a medical transfer and allowing somebody else to use it on their boat, and then they give me a portion of what they make, or just a set amount. but not with the Tanner one. I don't even know if I can do a medical. I kind of should find out about that. Not that we're going to have a fishery this year, but that would be good to know. But I really feel like it should be at least transferable within my bloodline. I don't know what T's cooking. Whoa, watch out. You almost butted me in the head. What's the guy? You gonna make chowder?
Yes.
Oh, an orange. Yeah, he's gonna make some cod chowder. Oh. He's cooking bacon right now. Mom's good.
Oh, good.
She misses us. She had a good day though.
Good. That was a lot of cod.
That was a lot of cod.
Big cod.
Some lunkers, some of those gotta be like 20 plus.
No, I don't think that big, but 15 for sure. A couple of them. Okay.
You
I'm
don't,
not just off base now.
you don't
It's been
think
a while.
so? I was gonna say, it felt like 40 lifting some of those over the rail.
They're kind of big.
Alright, 15 pounds.
Right?
I'll give you that.
I'm ready to go cod jigging.
Me
Gotta
too.
Figure out a way to get down deeper easily.
Anchoring,
Uh-huh.
or machine wise?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to add. I think we're gonna have to add cable
Mm-hmm.
to the Emerald Isle. I think if we put cable on, and then just some good. I don't know what did we figure? Is that 1 inch or 3/4 inch Samson on there?
I think we figured
3/4, right?
3/4.
Yeah. So I think if you put cable on, and then a shot of some 2-in-1 Samson
Mhm.
for stretch, and then your chain, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
But we need about 70 fathoms on there total to
Yeah.
get into 50.
Did you say there was another boat up there?
They were over here. Did you see that skiff come over here?
I
They
did.
came over here and then did a UE like right over here, kind of right in front of us. And they went over and then they went back this way and then I lost sight of them.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Just hunters, I guess. I don't see that boat now, so I don't know if they.
Oblivious.
I don't know if they came back into this little hidey hole. I didn't notice them go by, but they could have. It looked like that Venturas or whatever that one is.
Nope, I'm 35 and he is 22. Close, just 110 number off.
Tristan's our little baby. He just kind of popped up. We weren't expecting him, as you could probably tell with 12-year age gap. But he's been a joy. Surprise, Mom says. Big surprise. Well, 4 o'clock, it's going to be dark in half an hour. Boy, our days are short now. I don't know about everybody out there, but our summer just evaporated. 1 minute it was like May, and then it was September, just like that. It went by so fast this year. So our sets today were kind of across the bay. Not completely across, but pretty darn close to it. And that third one really hit. We've done some at the mouth of the bay that were really good before. And we might do those tomorrow if we're still here, or at least one right there. Just, we knew that if we set those last night, it wouldn't have been very nice there. Even as it was pretty rolly on the other side of the bay, just because we weren't in the lee. And so we were just kind of, we knew what the weather was going to be like today, so we kind of put that, kept that in mind when we set gear last night, so we could just enjoy our fishing and not get beat up too bad. It was pretty nice. It always looks really nice on camera, so you guys probably thought it was flat calm, but it wasn't. It was actually, that last set, it was actually pretty windy and blasting us in the face, and not super rough, but it was right there. It was like another 10 knots of wind and another 3 or 4 feet of wind and wave. It wouldn't have been much fun at all. So yeah, yeah, we usually just kind of set along the edges, the fathom curve here, because a lot of times the halibut kind of like to lay against those banks usually, but you know, that set going across, it was consistent all the way through, and that was really a nice surprise. So there's a couple more spots. I think that we're going to do the same with these sets tonight, is run them across, and fingers crossed they'll be good. Hopefully we stay out of the sand. I see there's a sandy spot on one place, so I don't want to set there overnight. But further up, there's mud and kind of the same depths, not quite as deep, but I think the depths might be all right. So maybe we'll do one above it and one below it. We'll see. We'll see after we pull these, and maybe pull the first one and then set it back, and then pull the second one, and then set the last two out. That might work pretty good. And hopefully we can just get a decent day tomorrow again. Even like 500 pounds or something. And we just need a couple more days like that and we're good. Trying to keep my expectations and my sights low, so it's easier just to figure that you're going to have to work really hard to get what you need, and then if it comes easy, you're happy. Well, good luck out there in mushroom land. I hope you get lots. It's fun to watch. You have to look around and see what there is around Kodiak for mushrooms. I know that there is harvestable mushrooms here, but there's some mushroom gurus that know which ones are good and which ones aren't good. It's fun to watch you though, just peeling back that moss, and there's just like a big pile of mushrooms underneath. It's amazing. Five o'clock and dark. Yeah, it's gonna be dark like in another 45 minutes. Boy, it got dark fast yesterday too. I think the sunset is 4:30 now, 4:30-ish. So by 5 it's pretty much dark, yeah. 4:38 today is sunset. 4:37. And then it's dark like 10 minutes later, especially when it's cloudy out. They had some really big morel harvests up here, not on Kodiak, but on the mainland, wherever fires were. And at one time, like, there were some guys making some really good money, like really good money. We were busy fishing. Kind of wish that we would have checked it out. But yeah, that's some big dollar stuff. I don't know if there's still that kind of opportunity. I think there's probably, maybe those are farmed now, grown commercially, I don't know. Yeah, those burnt areas. Yeah, we're pretty happy with the one that we got. That third set was good. That was a blessing. Like I was talking about earlier, last year we were down here about the same time. I think we averaged 117 pounds a set, and that's kind of, we were just hoping that we'd get that. Get 100 pounds a set. You know, we'll grind it out over 5 days, and we'll get the quota. We'll get what we need at 100 pounds a set. So we're up on that average right now. Hopefully it holds, and we can get out of here a little sooner. But we banked on 5 days of fishing. We brought 750 pounds of herring, which is 5 days of production, and then of course cod, you know, that we keep for bait. Could stretch that a little bit more. So we were prepared for the long haul. Hopefully we can just get a couple more good days, you know, 500-600 pounds, and we'll get it knocked out and be headed home on good weather. That would be nice. Good evening, Gold BP. Appreciate your support. We'll see you later. Be safe out picking mushrooms if we don't talk before then. Yep, good night. interesting on the morels. Yeah, I want to say there's some guys that were making, oh man, like 50, 60 grand a summer picking morels, but they were also like hiking back into the backcountry and stuff, and they were set up. I think they had either a buyer or they had connections in markets, and I'm not sure about people that were just like picking and selling to them. Ooh, 40 bucks a pound. Oh dang. 80 bucks a pound? Really? Dang, we're in the wrong business. Might have to go prospecting for gold and morels in the summer. So how many pounds can you pick in a day? Guess you don't need to get a whole lot to make some good money. Even at 20 a pound, gosh. Our potatoes did good this year. We had some whoppers. Our biggest potato this year was I think 2.6 pounds. 2.6 or 2.8 pounds. It was a monster. £2.8 potato this year. Yeah, we had a pretty nice harvest, so they are so delicious too. Boy. Dick in my head. You're funny, dear. Bless you. Well, we gotta go dig through our stack of movies and see which one we want to watch for the 50th time. Oh, that's good money. Especially when you're out in nature. Thank you, T.
You want that fish?
Yes.
It's wet.
I know. You get soaked just stepping outside, right?
Yeah.
So I was just looking at these. I was just looking at these analytics. I can't believe there's 250 people watching that
Whoa,
live stream. That's really cool.
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, at once. That's amazing. 249 at the peak. Absolutely amazing.
Nifty.
Wasn't that good set? What did you find for a movie?
Haven't looked yet.
Which one are we going to watch for the 50th time?
Gotta check in the case.
Yeah, pretty cool. Oh. Yeah, the Katoy was like, I'm not gonna lie, that dude like got us. I was looking away and I turned my head back forward and it's like, where did he even come from? That's Alyssa. That boat is like pretty awesome. That crew's pretty awesome too. But yeah, so that's Katoy anyways. So that's what's called a flare opener, where it's just a free-for-all. Those fish come back as terminal fishery, come back to the hatchery, and the excess is just harvested. So it's just it's more than anything, it's just fun to go do. And yeah.
Potentially wrap up a big set.
Yeah, there's a chance that you might get a big set and make a good chunk of money. You know, on the fishtail that one year, we wrapped up a 16,000 pound set, which was actually pretty darn good for that opener. We did good.
Yeah.
Like compared to a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that set ended up being worth, I don't know, like $5,000 or $6,000. It was pretty cool. But, you know, where all those boats are grouped up together and the nets are all just straight, those guys are in line basically, and those guys are wrapping up like 100,000, 200,000 pound bags that are worth, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But you got to have a big boat right there and a big power skiff and be ready to probably nudge people around a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, we fished that little corner right there before, and we were hoping that, you know, we saw that dude prowling around. He was all over the place and prowling around, and I thought that he was going to, like, blast off with the rest of that other crowd. And then he doubled back and got us. Yep, more power, faster boat.
He was raging in there.
He was. Absolutely. I didn't even see him turn around. Otherwise, you know, I might have had to jump on him if I had. But then again, he might have just come and blasted in there between us and that barrier anyways. Who knows? But yeah, that Katoy was fun. It's always fun to go up there. Even if you totally blow it and suck, which we did. More than anything, we were just looking out to get out and get the boat working for Sam, and there's a lot to do on it still. The hydraulics need to be upgraded so we can pull better and pull faster, and just stuff to get dialed in. It was fun. Yeah, it's total chaos in there. Those planes are in there ripping through the crowd. It's actually kind of crazy. You know, those float planes come blazing in there right in between everybody and landing and taking off. And
Yeah, that was nuts.
everybody coal rolling when the flare goes off, and it's exciting. Yeah, we goofed that one up, but we had fun anyways. Was that me teasing Anita about that fish being longer than her? Well, it was like, yeah, they are a breed of their own. Half crazy. Yeah, I thought you'd be more nervous about being up against that cliff, dear. Scraping the shoreline. It's pretty in there. The rocks and stuff are really pretty in there. Salmon's pretty serious business around here. A lot of these guys are super duper hardcore, and I don't know. It always seems like everybody expects you to be the same, and it's like, well, you know, I don't have a boat that's worth $1.5 million, and I don't have insurance payments that are $100,000 a year and 25 grand for each crewman. So do the math, right? We can just have fun doing it and not have to be stressed out. If these guys don't catch 500,000 pounds of pinks, you know, they don't even break even. 500,000 pounds of pinks is only, you know, I think this year we're looking at somewhere around 35 cents a pound, even 40 cents a pound. That's $200,000. That's not very much money at the end of the day. It sounds like a ton of money, but it's not when you have your insurance to pay for and boat maintenance and fuel. 200 grand goes really fast, and then paying your crew on top of it. So if these guys aren't putting in, you know, 500,000, 750,000 pounds, they're not really making very much money for the amount of effort they put into it. And there's guys they'll leave town and be gone all season. They'll come back 1 or 2 times during the whole season, 2.5 months, you know, to come in, maybe whatever, get food, maybe get oil, because you don't really need much when you're out there. The tenders bring you whatever you need. They'll bring you food from the cannery. You just put in your order and they'll go shop for you and bring your order out to you. They have fuel, they have oil, so you pretty much have everything you need out there can be brought to you, so you can just sit on the grounds and fish. But yeah, some people are pretty hardcore. Heck, we were even pretty hardcore on the fishtail that one year. We stayed out for 45 days. Didn't go back to town for 45 days. And fished almost every single day. Mom was not happy with us. Oh, glad you're enjoying the salmon. Boy, that is some good coho. It's so moist and delicious. Oh, thanks, Stingray. Yeah, well, I think we'll go back out here in a little bit and pull a few more. So, try and maximize our day today. Get a little more gear back in the water. Get that extra set or two in. Well, you should have some salmon, dear. It's good. I'm hoping we'll be cutting salmon and freezing it on board next year. That's our plan. I hope we can get to that point. I think that'll be a lot of fun. What's this little squiddy? I just read the comments and laughing. Fucking pull this up. I mean, I'm still pretty darn happy today. Starting to get dim out. Well, I think we might shut down for a little while, guys. We're gonna pop back out later and get a set. I don't know if we'll stream it or not. It's gonna be dark soon, and maybe depends on how rainy. Hopefully it's not too bad tomorrow, but I think it's gonna rain. But maybe we'll take and try and get set up to where we can get you set up out there and stay dry. Put a little cover over our makeshift camera mount. I think I could just take one of our bait boxes or something and drape it over the top maybe. And bring you along again. We're always teasing Mom about her height. Thanks for joining us, Big Mally. You have a nice evening. Yeah, everybody have a nice evening. I think we'll log off for a little while and see what happens this evening. I know we're going to pull one. Should probably pull two, but I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling kind of tired now, but gotta at least get one out and get it set back. And if it's really good, then I'll probably be excited and want to do the other, so hopefully it is. So. Alrighty, everybody, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming along, and we'll catch you again later, probably tomorrow. Have a good evening.